Welcome back to the
Not So Perfect podcast featuring Matt Chin, as always, with our good friend
Gerardo Cornejo in a different location. We've been here before.
Early ones when we were just kids.
Back in the days of the beginning.
Early podcast days. But yeah, we've got a different setup today. Shout out Mr. Keith Borgmeyer Photography. He's working back there. So they're a little loud next to Downtown Fitness. So we switched it up on you guys. Hope you're not too upset with it.
Yeah, and thank you for continuing to join us on our journey.
Absolutely. So, what do we got today? Got any burning desires or thoughts that we just need to dive right into?
I haven't been able to think this week. It's been a very productive weekend. Congratulations to my sister. She is growing her real estate investment portfolio. My little big sister's doing big things. She's growing up so fast.
Congratulations, Linda. Happy for you.
Good job, Linda, and I got your back, so we're here.
Just the first of many. Mm-hmm. First of many.
Yeah, and then we had a meeting yesterday, and the whole team was here, all 8 of us.
Okay.
It felt really good. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it. August next month, I start my 19th year in real estate. So that's how long. I'm sure it takes some people 9 months or 5 years or 3 years on social media that they got it all figured out. It took me 19 years. So.
Well, what I appreciate about that is the honesty in your statement. Not trying to tell everybody they can get it figured out in 6 months if they buy my course or whatever they might be trying to sell. But you've always had a very authentic feel for you. And that's whether it's real estate or just getting to meet you personally or just getting to know you a little bit more over the years, which was kind of what we were talking about maybe as a topic today. Little brotherhood and mainly just talking about how we got to know each other. And it hasn't been a lifelong thing.
No. A lot of people have been asking me if we're related, if we're brothers, but no, different moms.
Yep.
They're different moms.
Different moms.
Same muscles, though, looks like.
Yep, same genetics in that aspect. So, but no, a lot of people ask, they assume that we've just known each other our whole life, and we really haven't. So we're wanting to kind of dive into a little bit about just how we got to know each other and just how that relationship when we met has progressed until where you see us today. So for me, I think of Gerardo today. I think of him as somebody that if I need something, he's a phone call or a text away. But the other good thing,
steps away.
But the other good thing about it too is, in my opinion, he's a busy person. He's got his life, his wife, his kids, his business, and everything else in between. So it's not one of those things where we have to see each other. We have to talk every day. I enjoy it whenever the opportunity strikes, but some days our schedules are different where I'm in here super early, he gets in here a little bit later, and we miss each other. But, the neat thing is just I know he's always there if I need him, So it's always good when you're talking about relationships, and in this case, brotherhood, or however you want to describe that. Having that person you can always fall back on, that you're not going to have to worry about getting back with you in a decent time. Like if he sees that I'm texting him, I'm not just going to say, hey, how's your day? Like that's not how we're going to talk. But if I need something, I know I can rely on him to give me an answer or just be an ear for me to talk to or whatever it is. So yeah, we're just going to dive a little bit into how that relationship sprouted and how it sprouted into what it is today.
I think you just kind of described brotherhood, what it really is.
Yeah.
We always pick up where we left off. But again, I didn't really meet you till pandemic, and I met Matt back in our 20s, back in the bar scene days where we'd be there, where the hottest nights were Thursday nights.
Oh yeah. For me it was like every night.
Every night
was Thursday night.
I didn't know this about you, but I knew if I went to the bar, Matt was there.
Yeah.
But you were always working. You were always behind the scenes. You were always bartending. But then then we would go to Matt's fights.
Oh yeah.
And Matt's a badass. He's a dangerous man. And
retired.
We'd see the fights. We were there supporting you, and that was cool. To me, he was a scary man. Everybody in town knew Matt Chin is a scary man.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things too where first off, like I just learned something new about Gerardo, which we've talked about before we even started. Like I didn't even know you knew me by that time. I mean, we've seen each other and we knew each other, but I didn't know I didn't know that we were.
Oh yeah, we were out there cheering for you. Me and Stacy were down there cheering for you, and
that means a lot.
I know you're a scary man, and now you're scarier than ever because you're a light beam, laser beam now.
Hopefully, scary in a good way.
Yeah,
scary isn't like when I'm determined I'm going to get whatever objective I've got in front of me accomplished, and I'll do whatever it takes to do that. You know.
And then I would see you at Madison's.
Yeah.
That was the last of before we really met. Because we'd see Matt, he was the host, you know, he'd take us to their seat, but it wasn't like a happy Matt. It was Matt going through the motions, Matt. And then my sister Linda and Stacy went to go try out Downtown Fitness. They did that whole, it was more boxing.
Yeah, more of like a cardio boxing.
Cardio boxing at the time. But then, pandemic happened. Me and Stacy bought this building, and what the heck do I do with 5,000 square feet?
Yeah.
There's a perfect spot there that I was like, I know the perfect human being for this.
Yeah, because once the pandemic hit, Downtown Fitness was in a different location up on High Street, and had a little disagreement with the landlord at the time. We did kind of a barter deal in terms of like rent and all that stuff, and then he wanted to renegotiate when COVID happened, when nothing was open and we couldn't work or make money, and he was, So anyways, that relationship changed, and we just told him like, look, we already agreed on a deal. If you're going to renege on that, we'll just get our stuff and we'll get out of here. And, at the time, it's like, man, this was kind of my escape, where I could get away from all the chaos and just have a little bit of enjoyment doing what I love to do. Wasn't paying the bills, but it was supplemental income and that sort of thing. But, and looking back on it now, it was probably one of the best things that happened. I was in it with a partner at the time, and, we went our separate ways, and he did his thing, I did my thing. He's in a better place now, I feel like. I feel like I'm in a better place than where I was, and for a lot of different reasons, but just talking strictly about the gym and just work and business. Randomly, and I had this itch where like, I really wanted to get back into it, but at the time I was rebuilding my life, and money wasn't just falling off the trees for me just because I was trying to get my life back on track with rehab, and then, going through the DWI Corp program and just all the stuff that goes along with it. It all takes money to do those things. So for me, I was just trying to start out. I started out in my basement. I pulled all my carpet up, old carpet, and all the equipment I still had left over from when we were at our old spot fit in the basement just perfectly. I lost my downstairs living room, which small sacrifice to pay, but so I started working there, and then randomly out of the blue, I was just getting the itch to move. I don't mind having a few people in and out of my house like that, but I don't want like a full-time business, like knowing where I live, knowing, I just like my privacy a little too much. So in the back of my mind, I was like, man, if this keeps taking off the way it is, I'm gonna have to find something. And without making a phone call, my phone rings one day, and someone's got a deal that I just can't pass up. And I walked in and I was like, dude, this is exactly this is what I've kind of been wanting and encompassing of like what Downtown Fitness would look like, where it's got that garage door feel, that kind of rugged look to it, but has all the room I need to do what I need to. And it's worked out great. So, I mean, it's divine intervention. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't calling people.
And I didn't have your number.
Yeah, okay.
He wasn't on my phone, so I was trying to find you on social medias, but Matt at the time could care less about social media. Yeah. He was there, but
I was posting and ghosting.
Yeah.
Posting and ghosting.
Yeah, I was like, when's this dude gonna hit me back?
I wasn't interested in comments, and then the messenger thing, I don't know, it's one of those things.
It was a message I sent you.
Because for me, I don't know why, and I don't know if yours works the same way, but with my messenger, if I'm not in Wi-Fi, I can't open or see any new messages.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's just a setting that I need to change.
Smart setting.
I guess, but also missed out on a lot of messages.
It worked out.
Probably, but
it worked out.
It did work out. So yeah, but no, very grateful to be where I am, and I couldn't have done it without this guy. And hopefully, I'm helping this guy out by filling some of that 5,000 square foot of garage door space.
You've helped me mentally more than mentally and physically.
Yeah, well, it'd probably just be more of a storage unit now, and you wouldn't be making anything off of it. So hopefully, it's panned out, and you don't have any regrets about showing me those garage doors.
Or I don't have any excuses now, because if I fall out, like, oh, there's a gym there, and Matt sees me every day, and I don't want him to train me. It's brutal. And my team is trained. We've trained with you. You've trained us. we didn't know what was going to happen to this, but we have a wonderful community right now here.
Yeah, McCarty Landing. Shout
McCarty
out.
Landing, and great neighbors, Dancers Alley next door. Shout out to them. We communicate great with them,
Yeah.
and they do huge here in Jeff City.
Well, and this week alone, it's like, so we've had
They got camp
It's
this
been a
week.
chaotic week just from our standpoint. We share the alleyway with them, so like whenever, because usually it's always pretty busy here, just in and out throughout the day, but then you pile on like all day dance camp from like 9 a.m. to whatever time they're done.
And a
5:30
week-long
or so.
photo shoot for Key.
Yeah, then we also got a
we're-
photo shoot, so that's why we had to move in here, because they're, like I said, they're doing their stuff, so they're a little loud, and you could probably hear them in the background if we shot.
Never did I
usual
think we'd
spot.
run out of parking, or we wouldn't have enough parking here. But yeah, people are down the street, but it's great. And then even if we have female entrepreneurs in the building, shout out to Goosehead Insurance, Callie Sheichels and Haley Sullivan, Heather Dodd making connections, Linda Cornejo, Zoe Lopez, our female agents in the building.
Yep.
They're growing, and Brotherhood, Sisterhood, whatever you want to call it, we're all pushing each other up.
Yeah.
We're all helping each other out.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I consider this place like an extension of my family, whether it be brothers or sisters or whoever it is. We're all here to help each other however we can.
Yeah, it's getting fun, and now we have a lot of traffic, so more people get to see our faces, which is great.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you how many people I've pointed out, like, yeah, we've got a speech pathologist here, we've got insurance, we've got real estate, like photography, really whatever you need. We've got kind of a one-stop shop here of just people with different connections for people, and I think it's helped out some other people that I've just randomly introduced to, making with Heather Dodd's business, and then with Callie and Haley, like, if you guys need insurance, give them a holler. They're right here.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, I'm just trying to, if we can all eat a little bit more, we can all be a little bit happier and a little bit, a little bit more encouraging to introduce people to the different businesses that we have, not just in this building, but around town. I tell people all the time, if you're looking for something, if I don't know it, I guarantee you I can make one phone call or 2 or 3 phone calls or just take a loop around here and we can get an answer for you
Back
guys.
to that community feel.
Yep.
We really have that. And it's back to the brotherhood of things or sisterhood. We all push each other here. The positivity is here. We all push each other to get better. If we're having a bad day, you could tell, like, we've had crying sessions here in the building between everybody, because it ain't easy.
Yeah.
Like, life is hard enough in itself. Then you try to be an entrepreneur, to be a small business.
Yeah.
And then life gets back in the way, and then health and mental health and all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking of a couple off the top of my head. I remember the day that, you came in and let me know that Chris passed, and, I was in shock, you were in shock, but you were closer with Chris. It hit you a little bit deeper. But yeah, we just sat and there wasn't a lot of talking going on, we were just sitting with each other.
You were there.
And
Appreciate you being there.
Just being there, and we've helped out a couple other people that have had some tough routes, seeing them walk by their window and head in hands, and you can tell something's not good. And, you were always good about poking in there and saying, hey, you okay? And the next thing you know, we're both in there and walking them through it, trying to get them through it. So that's kind of the message I try and do every day, is just try and do the next right thing,
Yeah, Ellen, you've explained that too with your clients.
Oh, absolutely.
They come in, yes, you're coming in to work out, but it's a release point, and like, come and let it all out, and you being vulnerable and accepting your clients as they are, as they come in, let it out, because then you just get to beat the shit out of the bag or whatever training they're doing.
Absolutely.
Running it out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, we carry so much stress just with, if you're a parent, you've got your wife and then your kids on top of what you do for a living. So if you own your own business, then you're pretty much your own lone wolf trying to make sure everything stays up to par with your permits and your licenses and your taxes and your this and your that. And that's a lot. If you're doing that every day, 365 days a year, it starts stacking up, and you got to have that outlet to just let that stuff out, And for me, the thing that saved my life was just diving headfirst into exercise, and not just exercise, but physically hard and challenging activities. For me, I get that sense of satisfaction where, you run 10 miles, by the time you're done, you were exhausted, and whatever was bothering you before, non-existent, And for me, that's all I was looking for, was even 5 minutes of just peace in my head. That's all I was looking for. And it turns out, if If you run further and further, you get more and more peace the further you go.
Just for 5 minutes, I don't know what the percentage is. My math guys aren't here chasing them. But 5 minutes of 24 hours, that's all you're asking for.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, and that applies to just what I do day in and day out with just, hey, I see you maybe 2 or 3 hours a week. Like that's a lot of extra hours you have to be accountant that you have to hold yourself accountable for. And, I had a new client that got started this week. And we talked on the phone, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, for about, what was just going to be a short, quick call. Turned out to be like a 35, 40-minute phone call, just kind of going through like, now this is the expectations I have. This is the kind of mindset and thought process you need to bring into this because, even though we're applying this and we're just talking about exercise and fitness, these are all things you can apply to every aspect of your life, in terms of like, for example, mindset.
Yeah.
Are you going in here just, I got a 9 o'clock workout. I just don't want to be there. I don't feel good. I slept like crap. The dog kept me up on, like, whatever it is, that's one outlook, and if you come in with that attitude, that's probably how your workout's going to go, But if you come in here excited, ready, motivated, hey, this is going to suck. He already told me it's going to be hard at the beginning, but if I stick to the plan, stick to the process, and just keep coming back, all those things that suck on day 1 get a little bit less on day 2, get a little bit less on day 3. And next thing you know, when you see that foam roller laying out when you walk in the gym, you're not sitting there like, oh my gosh. You're actually reaching for it, grabbing it, wanting to be on that thing. So again, perspective and mindset plays a huge role in just how you look at the world, how you look at work, how you look at your family, how you look at your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, whoever it is.
And it doesn't happen overnight, right?
No. I mean, I've talked about it on the podcast.
Consistency.
Where, even just for me, like to better myself, I was doing the BetterHelp and therapy, and the lady told me something that was freaking moving mountains, and all it was talking about yourself, who you were versus who you are today. Because I was always stuck who I was. So like, no matter how many good things I've done from this point on, I'm always like, when I look at myself at the end of the day or I look at myself in the mirror, it's like, instead of looking this way at all the good things I've done since I got sober, I stay in the past, and that's where my chaos was in life, So if you want to keep that chaos active and just constantly in the back of your brain, keep thinking about yourself in that old way as opposed to who I am today, what I'm doing today, how I'm trying to help people, and that sort of thing.
There's an analogy I've seen, the rearview mirror. There's a reason it's that little. I mean, to see what's in the back, it's not gone.
Yeah.
It's there,
but you can't.
It's still there.
You can't drive staring only at the rearview mirror.
But the windshield is this big, compared to our past. It's don't forget about it. Yes, it's there, but we have so much. We got another day.
Yeah. We
got another day.
Yeah, and that's one huge thing that was missing in my life, was just not seeing the joy of each day that God gave me to flourish. And now that I do, I wake up pumped for another day.
Yeah.
Pumped what we get to talk about on this podcast. Pumped about having a new client. Pumped about, getting somebody started on their journey, and that was the other thing I explained to him on that phone call, was just talking about how, how your mindset going into this needs to be, this isn't a fad diet. It's not going to be a 30-day lose 20 pounds. This isn't going to be I can guarantee that you add 4% body fat or add 4% muscle mass to your body by 60 days. Like, this is going to be a lifestyle change. When you look at it like that, you're not worried about the finish line. You're not worried about day 30 of the diet. You're not worried, because then usually after that, then you go crazy and you go to your favorite restaurant and you get all the French toast and the scrambled eggs, and not that scrambled eggs are bad, but you know what I mean? You just overindulge because it's like, oh, I finished and now I get to reward myself. It's like, you can have those days every now and again, but if that's going to be what you resort right back to after that diet or after that, whatever, 60-day workout routine we did for 2 months, your tendencies to fall back into those comfort areas are going to be tempting and more tempting. It's the old saying, you go to the barber shop enough times, eventually you're going to get a haircut.
I like it.
Ever heard that one?
No.
Yep, that's an old AA saying.
Okay.
So it's like going to the bars, if you keep going to the bars, even though you're not drinking, like you do that enough times, there might be a day where you said, you know what, I can do that, I can have one.
You go to the gym enough times, the abs will show up.
That's right. Yeah. I've got a couple of clients, well, one particular I'm thinking of, shout out Shelby, of when she first came in day one. She's my age, has kids, so she's been through the whole process. Her body's been through the ringer and all that. And she's like, and I don't know what my daughter did, but I think she stole my abs when she came out of me because I don't have any. I was like, oh, I can't wait to prove you wrong. So now that we are where we are today, she's jacked. She's got good
Way to go,
definition.
Abby. Nice.
Shelby.
Shelby.
Shout out Shelby. But yeah, so I've got people, and now it's just like, remember 9 months ago when you were laughing about how you didn't have any abs? Like, looking pretty rock solid now, right? I know.
And how long has that process been?
With her, it's probably been, I bet, around 9 months, maybe give or take. But
that was not a sales pitch.
Well, this is just something I tell people. I'm like, look, if you keep coming back, you will get what you want. Now depending on where everybody starts, which is always different for everybody, it might take longer. I've got somebody that's came in and they're a 400 plus pound person. It's going to take a while for us to get, that's never worked out, that doesn't have any kind of understanding of fitness or dieting or just how the body works. It's just not their area that they've, that's just not the area they've devoted their life to. So when I explain this stuff to them, we're going to be, you've never worked out before, so you've got no muscle mass. So first thing we're going to be doing is you're going to be putting on some muscle.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at that scale every day, you might be gaining weight, and now it's a full panic because, oh my God, I've gained 2 pounds. It's like, look, we're going to have to put on some muscle first, strengthen your body, and then the more muscle mass we put on, that's going to burn fat away from those affected areas. And we were at a plateau for a really long time. But the things I was noticing that he may not have been as much, just because I'm kind of the outsider looking in, is his cardiovascular was getting better every week. His number of repetitions he was doing was getting up every week. His pounds of weight he was using were going up every week. And then eventually, where we were only getting maybe 2 rounds through the workout, next thing you know, he's getting 3. And then he's getting 4. And then today, like I had him just before you guys got here, he only had 45 minutes, so we had to keep it short and sweet, but he still got the same number of rounds in that he would have if he was doing 60 minutes, 6 months ago.
Okay.
So, and now he's starting to see, so we went up, put some size on, plateaued, not really losing any weight, scales kind of staying the same, and now he's like, I think last week he told me he was down 26 pounds. So it's...
And that's the test. That plateau is the test.
It's hard because like I tell people, and
the real test.
Don't quit 30 seconds before the miracle. I know it's easy to get discouraged, and it's like, God, I'm just not having any progress, or I'm not seeing it fast enough, or I'm not, it didn't get on that way. It's not going to come off that way, So, like I say, don't quit 30 seconds before the miracle. And the other one, it's always darkest before the dawn. So just I know there's days where it's like it's too dark. I can't. It's too dark.
Always darkest before the dawn.
Just hang on. And that's the only reason why I say that is because I am a proof that happens. And I've noticed it throughout my sober journey. The first year I was crazed because I couldn't believe I stayed sober for a year. But just because I'm sober, I've still got all these other areas I got to clean up in my life, So then you make another progress or make another big step. Maybe I get over some of my resentments that I couldn't, that I was just held up on. And then I have another breakthrough a year later where it's like, okay, well, that's behind me. Now I can look at the next thing. And every year it's like, I try and tackle one new thing that I need to feel like I need to improve on or I need to get better at, So, yeah, like I said, the only reason why I say the things I do isn't because I read it in a fancy book or heard it on a cool podcast. These are lived experiences that I've had. And, take the proof from me. If you need someone that you might actually physically know and not an Instagram influencer or an AI-generated whatever it is, just take it from real life people with real life examples and not stuff that's just regurgitated from books, podcasts, whatever it is.
And that's why coaching is so important. The accountability is there. Like, Matt, take my body over. To make my body do things that I don't want to do from this AI training guide I got, or the 6-minute ab guys is just not working, Matt. It's 6 minutes, but I ate cookies.
Well, and here's the thing, and there's a lot of different fitness apps and stuff out there that can kind of give you programs and give you schedules of what to lift, how many reps, how many sets, how much weight, this and that and the other thing, which is very helpful. And a lot of people rely on those because they have a background in fitness already, or they already have a foundation where they can take that and they can roll with it, and it works for them. Or people that travel a lot, I'm never in the same spot twice. I'm always in different hotel gyms or whatever. So you can always kind of find a way to make that work. But the thing with it is when you have a physical person there that is just A, dedicated to what he loves to do, his passion, and then B, I enjoy that trust that you were talking about of, hey, I'm giving you my body, do what you got to do to it. I don't care if it sucks. I trust you. You've got my undivided attention.
And it goes in a business world too, coaching.
Yeah.
The business coaching, tens of thousands of dollars of travel. Yes, you get to write it off because you get to travel to different places, but sitting in these rooms, being at these tables of these people saying, just show up, do the work, help people. I'm like, what? But I paid $750 for this get rich quick scheme program that it didn't work.
DWI Corp program.
Show up, try, be honest.
Those are 3 keys to success.
Just saved you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Those are 3 keys to success that if you can do those 3 things, you're going to be sitting a lot better.
And don't just hear from us. Yes, it's coming from us, but go ask the people that are living or you think are living the life you want to live, You'll learn so much from them. They'll give you the cheat codes. The really honest people know there are no secrets, and they don't keep any secrets.
Shortcuts, stuff like that.
There are no shortcuts.
Yeah,
just
life
work
hacks.
your ass off. That's what it freaking takes.
Yeah, and that always resorts me back to Joe Rogan. Just be undeniable. Mm-hmm. Whatever your passion is, whatever it is, dive into it head first and just be undeniable about your effort, the amount of time you're spending on it. You have to completely dedicate yourself to whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and that's life, business, work, pleasure.
Yep,
that applies.
And I want to tie that into brotherhood, sisterhood, because one of my coaches said the highest form of accountability. Love is the highest form of accountability. The highest form of accountability is love. The highest form of one of those.
It's your Peter Crone, yeah.
No, this is Chet Black. This is another guy. Yeah, okay. The highest form of love is accountability, but brotherhood, checking in with you, checking in weekly. Are you still getting better? Are you still doing? How did therapy go? How's your clients? Are they growing? Checking in with the other businesses here. Are you growing? What do you need help with?
Yeah.
Boshi's killing it on video. Use him for help. Now they hire Boshi. Everybody's growing. Again, that 1%. And there's a book, 10%, 1% better every day, whatever.
I think there's a print off over right next to the printer there that says
I just did that one for
1% better every day.
That's all it takes.
Whether it be business or I can't remember.
One extra rep a day, one less thing that you don't eat a day.
One less donut.
I've given those up for a while now. Or one less ounce of milk or sugared coffee.
Or how about that 4 ounces of tequila with some ice on it you like so much every now and again?
Once in a while. Yeah.
But
again,
it's
just that's
every
that's
once
enough.
in a while is one thing, but when it comes to daily
Yeah, because people are like, how do you
stuff.
drink just straight tequila? I was like, I don't. I just sip it. And it's lasting me for 2 hours. And it's an ounce and what's a shot? 1.75 ounces? Or?
I think it's 2 ounces.
Okay, still remember. That was a test.
Oh yeah, still got some of that knowledge up in the old noggin. I still get called for a few wedding receptions every now and again for some freelance work.
But the accountability with Brotherhood is Brotherhood and Sisterhood. We have 2 meetings a week that are kind of required to be on my team.
Yeah,
we have to check in accountability. We are meeting with a couple fellas today, some gentlemen that we have the ages range from 21 to 81, 82 today at lunch because it's a brotherhood. We're meeting, where can we get better? Where's the accountability at?
Yeah.
A friend of ours put that together just to check in with your brotherhoods. Stacy makes fun of me because I laugh at when the girls get together because it really is just like a chicken coop. There's noise, nothing's being said, but girls just get to let it all out.
Yeah.
And they do wonderful with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's, I think you sent me I feel like it was you that sent me this, but it was talking about the check-ins and the brotherhood check-ins, so it'll be daily or weekly. If I come into your office and I'm like, hey, how we doing today? And you're like, fine. I know he ain't fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things, like, your response just to that, like, can tell me.
It's probably like at 6 p.m. too when I'm here.
If I get a I'm fine, here's what I'm doing. I'm walking up and I'm pulling up a chair and I said, why is it just fine? You know? Or I want to know more, because I know that's not, when people say they're fine, that's
a defense mechanism.
Either they're in passing and they're just being cordial, or they're not fine.
Yeah.
Or they're not okay. You know, I think it was you that sent me, it was a Robin Williams quote or a Robin Williams poster maybe. But I'd have to go back and look. But anyways, it was basically talking about, like, when people say they're fine, they're not fine. Like, if somebody's fine and I come into your office and you're having a good day and I say, hey, what's up, G? Crushing it. You know, I'll get a different response.
I'm physical.
I'll get enthusiasm. I'll get some,
you get a hug.
Emotion, a hug, or we'll dap it up. You know, so again, that's one thing where I can walk in his office, and if I don't get the response I want, I know something's not right, because I know how he is, you know. But again, just kind of go back to that brotherhood. Like, we didn't start that way. We were just mutual friends through a friend of a friend, and then we got to know each other a little bit better. And then COVID happened, and then we got to meet each other even more, and then we got to work in the same building, and you know, it's just flourished ever since, you know. And I think we got a good enough feel for each other where it's like we finally got to that point where we knew we could lean on each other regardless of what was going on, you know, because, you know, for me, it was just one of those things. Whenever I got sober, like, I lost a lot of friends, you know, quote unquote friends, because when you're not sitting at the bar stool with said friend, what good are you? You know, and they tell you that when you get into rehab, when you get clean and sober, change your people, places, and things, and you'll find out when you do that who your real friends truly are, you know. So for me, I was very guarded, like, who I let in my circle, because I didn't want to bring in any more chaos or just deceptive or just toxic people in my life. I had enough of those people in my life for a long time, and they dictated a lot of what I did. And that's time I don't get back, you know, but I learned a lot through that. So in doing that, it takes me a minute before I let somebody get in a little bit closer, you know, and I feel like once we got to know each other and I got to know you a little bit better and then you got to know me a little bit better, we're just a couple real dudes just trying to figure it out, you know. And
still trying.
Boil it down, and we keep it real simple, you know. And if we tend to start overcomplicating things, I always resort back to, did I show up, did I try, and was I honest, you know. And usually when I look at it like that, I'm making too big of a deal out of something that doesn't need to be a big deal, or I'm overcomplicating it in my head, you know. So just little simple things like that just remind me, you know, where I'm at.
I ran into a friend of mine about growing up and having it figured out. She's having trouble with her son, you know, and they had perfect communication. They were there for them growing up. They were always traveling, but her son's making different choices, and he just turned 18. She goes, he's 18, he's supposed to be grown up and thinking like he's grown up, and da-da-da. I was like, I'm 40. I just now grew up. The overthinking.
Yeah.
If I've experienced anything in my 40s, it's like, oh my God, I just had to keep it simple that whole time.
Yeah.
But we don't want to hear that in our 20s.
No.
We don't want to hear that in our 30s. Like, no, like, I'm on my way to be a millionaire and da-da-da-da-da, and I got to make money, I got to work 24/7, da-da-da, and that wasn't the answer.
Yeah.
You know what, now in my 40s, it's just like, oh, just keep it simple.
Yeah. I think I saw an Alan Watts quote, or like a little YouTube short 4 or 5 minute video or something from Alan Watts about your life truly doesn't start until you hit 40. And it's a pretty interesting little listen.
4 decades will teach you a lot.
Yeah. But so that was a really good one that I liked, that just kind of explained a lot. But I did hear something really cool. So I'm not a big baseball fan. I used to be a huge one, and then COVID happened and no one was in the stands, and I just lost touch with my St. Louis Cardinals fandom that I had. But I was watching a couple innings of the All-Star game last night, and they had mic'd up the Chicago Cubs center fielder. I think he's a 23-year-old, and I apologize, I don't remember his name. But they had him mic'd up like while he was playing outfield, like with the announcers and stuff. And you know, they said, you know, you're 23 years old, you're playing, and you know, you got your first All-Star selection. Like, who was somebody that you idolized, or who was someone that you tried to mimic your life, like, you know, baseball, to get you where you are, or you know, what would you say to, you know, like young kids today that might look up to you? And he said something very profound. This is a 23-year-old.
Okay.
So like keep that in perspective too. Like you think it would have came
I
from
hang
like
out with a few times.
you think it would have came from a 50-year-old wise Buddha, you know. But he goes, honestly, he's like, you can have your idols and those people you look up to. He's like, but if you're a kid, like be a kid, figure it out. Like do your own thing, you know. Don't feel like you have to walk my step, because guess what? My life started off like this. Yours might start off over here, and yours might start off way over there. You know, so use life to not, you know, maybe take you know, like moral compasses of people that you maybe look up to or respect, but you don't have to be, you know, if everybody wanted to be Conor McGregor, like, how would that work for an 8-year-old kid? You know, he's gotten pretty wild and crazy as of late. So it's like, if you're still trying to emulate that guy, like, that might take you down a road that, you know, is going to deflect a lot of what you have potential-wise and figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
And that's, man, I tell you what, with Brotherhood, just trying to figure it out from day to day. You know, who am I? You know, because there's days where I still get imposter syndrome, like, I don't believe myself some days, you know? And it's weird, and I can get stuck in that thinking, like, of that imposter syndrome, and it just repeats all day, every day. And, you know, that's whenever I might come into your office and plop down and say, you got a minute, man? I can't shake this. You know, I can't kick this. And we'll talk our way through it. Next thing you know, that was dumb. Why was I even thinking about that? You know, but we just
there.
Sometimes we just get stuck, you know. So again, that's when you can lean into that foxhole brotherhood of people you got that you trust. You don't have to worry about them judging you. We know the worst about each other. Like me and my close buddies I went to high school and grade school with, like, I trust them 100% because they know all of my bad shit, and I know all of theirs. You know, so when you're in that relationship with people like that, it allows you to be more real, more open, and more free to talk about what you just got weighing on you. You know,
and we're all going through it together.
Yeah,
I don't know if there is anything to figure out. It's just be a kid and live. You know, we think we're old now, but I just closed yesterday with an 81-year-old client. Man, like if I can make it and still be like him, so I told my friend, I was like, hey, we're at a halfway point right now. This is halftime in our 40s.
Yeah.
If we plan to make it to 80, you know that. She was like, please don't tell me that. I feel so old right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, no, one of my parenting hacks is I study a lot. I listen to a lot. Yes, my natural thing is to love my children, but I'm telling them, just be a kid, be a kid. A lot of kids don't know how to be kids right now.
No.
So last week I played baseball with Jacob for 4 or 5 hours outside. I was just outside running around with him.
Yeah.
This is how you be a kid. I'm turning more into a kid now in my 40s.
Yeah.
Except we have better toys.
Yeah.
We have way cooler toys that I've dreamed of having.
Yeah.
But I get to do it now with them, showing them this is what kids do. This is what we did as kids.
Right.
This is how dirty we got as kids, you know, and forget where the charger's at or forget what's plugged in.
Yes.
I know it's tough right now. It's pretty hot outside, but turn on the water.
Yeah.
Go to a pool. Go swimming.
Man, I remember like
go to the creek.
When we were kids and we get done with recess, and I went to St. Joe, so we had, you know, white polo shirts and, you know, either khaki or navy blue pants. When we got done with recess, to have like full back grass stains, like knees just ripped out of our, like we were playing some football, like that was us. I couldn't tell you how many times we'd get in line after recess with, you know, you get in line for first grade, second grade, third grade, whatever. And oh man, the teachers that were running recess duty that day, we would get our butts chewed out by them, like, your parents are going to be so mad at you for having to clean all those grass stains. Like,
I was being a kid.
Just being kids, you know. Like, that's just how it was. But yeah, we didn't. But it was recess. We didn't, you know, we weren't sitting there waiting for the computer to load up and get on whatever, Netflix or
go
some
post
kind of gaming
dance
stuff
videos.
or TikTok or whatever. So like, I'm honestly personally glad that I grew up in the era that I did compared to what the kids are growing up to now, because I know myself as a kid, like I was very insecure and just very small. You know, I was always I think I was the shortest kid in my class until third grade, and then the shortest boy until like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So constantly insecure, because there's people that were, you know, I looked at.
So at that point, you never thought you'd be on the cover of a magazine.
Well, not in that sense. No. Not in that sense. Maybe like the biggest ding dong in the Missouri area. I'd be probably qualified for that. But yeah, no. But it's I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm growing up now, or growing up when I did compared to these kids that are growing up now. Just with all
and
the
you know what's
technology.
scary? Thinking just talking about this, a lot of new schools, there's no grass. They're talking about the grass stains, you know,
Yeah.
like the knees, the grass on the knees. Like there's schools are being built with blacktop and jungle gyms. They just get completely hot and you
Yeah.
can't use them.
Yeah.
I remember ours being made out of wood.
Wood. Yeah.
Splinters, like guaranteed.
But guess what? If it's 110 degrees outside, it feels like 120. Imagine going down that wooden that wooden slide, you know, that metal
Or
slide.
that
that was
steel slide.
just scorching you on the backside. But I will say, even though they had the blacktop, because there were some days where we'd get to play on the field, and then other days we'd be on the blacktop next to the cathedral, and you thought that would have stopped us from getting black tar grass stains? Like, nope, still business as usual, you know?
It's even with when we go play outside the kids, Stacy's like, come here, let's spray you with bug spray. And I was like, just leave them alone.
Yeah,
let them
leave
get
them
bit.
be.
Like, think about what we're putting on our bodies just to kill a bug.
Yeah.
Like that's bug killer. Don't put it on my body. Leave me alone.
Agreed.
That's where me and Stacy fight.
Agreed.
But she just being mom.
Yeah.
Protecting the kids.
Well, hey,
so we sneak out before she sprays us.
Yeah, just being a kid, just remember, like, close your eyes so I can spray bugs and just,
Open your mouth in case one gets in there too.
yeah, but no, it's crazy. And then just with, like I said, with the kids' technology and stuff that they got going today and the AI stuff that's going on, I don't know, it's a scary time, you know, and I'm in that sense, like what you talked about this morning about the AI stuff, just kind of blowing your mind, like what's real, what's not real. I'm very glad that I'm late to the AI chat GPT game. Like, you guys pretty much taught me that you can download the app and you don't have to pay for it.
Game on.
And then here you go. And then if you want to do like a more modified thing, then there's a subscription process for it. So like, I am still very, very new. But I lean into it for different things. Like, as of late, like this past week, I've used it to help kind of identify some clients I have that got some nagging shoulder injury or a nagging whatever the injury is. I'll use that just to kind of give me some different ideas of what it could be, some exercise we could do to kind of pinpoint what it is better. And just by doing that, you know, I had the lady, one of those ladies come in last night, and she says, yeah, just by doing some of those exercises you've done, like, my shoulder feels so much better. It's just kind of like that tension that was there is just gone. You know, so we're continuing to do some different
It
PT
can
type
be
exercises. So
it's a tool.
it's helpful, yes. But
Yeah, it's
kind of like
a
what you were
tool.
talking about. Because what did it say whenever you? What did you type in before we got started?
Oh, well, we got it right here. I said, I named mine because, of course, we studied into it. One of our coaches is heavy in AI, and she said, start training it, letting it know how you work, how you think, tell it everything. So that's where I'm a little bit scared. I don't tell it everything, but
Social
business-wise,
security
blood type. I mean, it can help you with those kind of things, but just the way it thinks is knowing how I think, how I talk, and then you can correct it. I don't talk that way. I don't say my guy. I don't say cat bro. Like, I don't use that language. That's a thumb down.
Yeah.
But I started paying for it because for $20 a month, you can't hire an assistant to do these things for you.
And not just to hire the assistant, but get the answer you want
instantly. Yeah, yesterday. Give me some calming breathing techniques, because I've been doing stretching and breathing in the morning. You know, like, instead of always trying something different. I was walking and now my knees hurt. I haven't got my new shoes yet. So stretching in the living room and just lazy. I'm 40. I'm stretching in my living room and my rug right there by myself and doing some breathing techniques. So immediately, box breathing is what the Navy SEALs do, 4-7-8 breathing, resonant breathing, and the people in my office started seeing this, they started trying it. But I asked it, I said, what are the top 5 ways, G-Unit is the name of my chat GPT, what are the top 5 ways G-Unit has helped Gerardo? Number 1, branding and marketing muscle instantly. It has changed everything from real estate and everything. Number 2, real estate description wizardry. We use it for our descriptions. Here's my idea. Here's what I feel like when I walk through the house. Make it a description under 800 words. simple. And I always say for a third grader to read. Boom. Now anybody could read it. Number 3, operational and onboarding structure. It's given me guides on my meetings and my to-do list. My to-do list now, I'm a big list guy and checklist guy, so put the boxes there so I can check off. The satisfaction is there, checking off. Number 4, motivation and mindset partner. Like he was saying, there's signs all around the office now because I'm getting them into posters immediately of get better. Number 5, idea execution engine. And it has helped me. One of the questions I asked, because I'm into real estate, and I said, hey, there's a car dealership that I have my mind on. I've been watching it. I was like, what are some of the uses that, or what are old car dealership buildings being transformed into? It gave me this list, and one of them was just genius, and again, like that would have taken me hours and hours and hours of research and let's do that. So okay, let's go deeper into this. It's just so you could be so intentional with it.
Yeah.
And then it said, bonus, you've got someone in your corner 24/7 who knows your brand, your tone, and your mission. That consistency makes you dangerous in the best way possible.
Very good. And then what was there was another one, I don't think you printed it off, but you were typing, asking it, what was it, where you were the analogy that it gave you? It said that you were the
pit crew.
That's
I had to design me a whole Formula One team sponsored by the Cornejo Group. So we are. It said, "I am the driver and I am your pit crew."
Yes.
And then puts the little emoji, the finish line emoji. But it is a tool. It's helped me with relationships. It's helped me with raising my children. It's a guide. But the article I sent Matt this morning is, we're at the point now where 50% of what you see on your social medias, on the internet, on whatever news channel, your email, 50% of it is AI generated, is fake. I'd say more like 90% of what we're seeing now. And now the social medias are being controlled by it.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg just offered somebody $400 million, I think it was, to hire him because nobody else would pay him anything near that. So he was running the AI engines for social medias, and AI is going to be running social media soon. So the main point at my meeting yesterday with my team is, don't forget to be human. Continue to be human. People are going to work with you because of you. Why do people come to Matt? They get Matt. They don't get anybody else. They get Matt. Why do people come to the Cornejo Group? Because they get us. The same personalities you see on the videos. The same person, the same atmosphere you see when you walk into the building. It's just, we carry that the entire time because that's the only way it works. For us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I think just to reiterate what you were saying there, make sure that relationship stays, you're the driver, ChatGPT's the pit crew. They're filling up your gas, they're airing up your tires, and it's not the other way around where you're living via what ChatGPT says, but you're using it as a tool, very important keyword there, tool, to help you build your house, to help you build your empire, to help you build your business, your personal life, your kids' relationship, whatever it is. Because there is useful stuff there, but it's just a matter of, what you're typing in and what you're asking of it, So, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's, I am very grateful that, I'm a poster and ghoster on social media. I know most of the stuff you were talking about, just how much of it's AI generated or how much of it's, with my feed, I get a lot of fitness stuff. So you get all the fitness gurus that are telling you can eat all the donuts you want and still have 6-pack abs. And, it's just like, I don't know. For me,
the AI with the perfect bodies is insane. You can't tell if it's real or not.
And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get harder and harder until eventually we can't delineate between what's real, what's not. So that's why, in my opinion, like just what I've experienced, what I've been through and where I'm at today, like I'd rather feel a real physical person. I'd rather talk to a real physical person about certain things. Not saying you can't use ChatGPT for different tasks and tools throughout the day, but my interactions that I have vocally and just with myself and others, like I want it to be with a real person. I don't know, for me, like I couldn't go into a Instagram and find someone that's got 7 ways to master your life in 30 days. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just not realistic, And if this person does have the key to success, like why have I never heard of you before? Why is this a company that when I click on your logo, you've got 4 followers and no, 30 posts, but no comments, no nothing. It's like, if it smells funny and it looks funny, it's probably something to it. So, yeah, for me, I'm grateful that I don't spend a lot of time in that social media world. If I do post something, it's a post and go. So I don't look at comments. I don't respond to comments. I just...
Yeah, I had to update you on our channel, on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had to update you, and you got to actually see the numbers. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, like I told Gerardo, I said if it was up to me to do the editing and the uploading to YouTube, you guys probably still wouldn't have ever seen us on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'd still be...
And we've never pushed click, subscribe, like, whatever order it's being repeated at.
No, this is just authentic 2 people talking that enjoy each other's company. And we've talked about it before. This is like our therapy. You know, whenever I get done with the podcast, we get done and we're excited. We're pumped. You know, we're fired up. You know,
this is not AI generated. He really looks this good.
I guess you caught me on a good day. It's the lighting of the new room. It's the lighting of the new room.
The black walls are still...
Yeah, they make me pop.
You look good on black.
On the white, the white shirt.
We good on time?
Yeah, no, we're good.
So.
Yeah, I think we've had a good one.
Brotherhood, sisterhood, accountability. I think that's what the name of this one's going to be.
Yep.
Don't grow up too fast. Don't forget to be a kid.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with being a kid is you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Just learn from them. You know?
Yeah, kids aren't supposed to be perfect.
Sooner you can learn from your mistakes, whether you're a kid, adult, 20s, 30s, 40-year-old. Like, I just enjoy every day whenever I go to sleep knowing that I learned at least something new every day. You know, something I didn't know about myself, about a client, about whatever it is, you know. So get out there, keep hammering, stay hard.
I appreciate your brotherhood.
Appreciate you.
Go work on all your relationships. Thank you for watching.
Peace
and
out.
Thank you for not being so perfect.
That's right.
Peace.
God bless.